Okay, so I just wanted to do a little video for those of you that may be doing a level 2, level 3 course in gym, PT, or if you do a massage, you have to learn about the heart and the circulatory system. So just going to draw something very, very simple that will hopefully help you with your revision. So when you're asked questions about the heart on your exam papers, you have to remember that everything is opposite. So the left side, as you look at it, is on the right, and then the right side is on the left, and it can be a bit confusing. So the best way to think about it is imagine that it's your heart on the paper. Okay, so if you imagine drawing around your body, and then having your heart on the paper there, then the left side is your left side, but as you look at it, it's on the right. And then on the right hand side, as you look at it, it's on your right if it was your heart, but when you look at it on the paper, it's on the left. Okay, so that's the easiest way to describe things. So best thing to do with the heart is if you draw a box, and then you divide that box into 4 sections. Okay, so we know that this side, if it was me lying on the paper, this is my right hand side. So this is the right side here, and then this is the left side here. So obviously the opposite if you're looking at it on the piece of paper, but if you're lying on the paper, that's my left side, and that's my right side. Okay, so we have different chambers in the heart, and they do different jobs. So the top chambers are called atria or atrium. So we know that this is the right side, and the top chambers are your atria. Okay, so atrium or atria means like a hallway or an entrance way. So if you imagine the blood coming back into the heart, through the entrance is at the top. Yeah, so we've got a right atrium, because this is the right side, and then a left atrium, which is the left side. Okay, so right atrium on the right, so your right if you were lying on the paper, and then left atrium on the left. Those are your entrance chambers, and they're at the top of the heart. So they're the top 2 chambers of the heart. Now the ones below that, these are your pumping chambers. Okay, obviously there is a pumping action to the atria as well, but the muscular effort comes from your ventricles. So this is your right side. So we've got a right ventricle on this side, and then your left side, left ventricle there. Okay, so we've got a left pumping chamber, and we've got a right pumping chamber as well. Now, your heart has 2 different circulations. We've got what we call the systemic circulation, and that goes to the whole system. Okay, so your whole body, the whole body system is your systemic. And then you've also got the pulmonary system, and the pulmonary is to do with your lungs. Okay, so the systemic system is your whole body, and then the pulmonary system is your lungs. So your heart has a smaller pulmonary circuit, and then a larger systemic circuit, which goes to the whole body. Okay, so let's have a look at what goes where. So we know that arteries always go away from the heart. So arteries equals away. Pop that over here. And that's really important to remember, because when I was first taught, I was taught that arteries always had oxygenated blood in, but they don't. Okay, and that's where it can be confusing. So if you remember arteries away, then that makes it a bit more easy to understand. So we know that arteries go away, and they go from the pumping chambers. Okay, so the left ventricle and the right ventricle. Now, if we do this circuit here, so the right side, let's change the colour, this side is all blue. And if we say it's blue because it's deoxygenated, okay, so this right side of the heart deals with the deoxygenated blood, and the left side of the heart is red, and that deals with oxygenated blood, okay. So where has it got its oxygen from? It has to have got its oxygen from the lungs. Okay, so we've got those. My art is obviously amazing. We've got two lungs there, which is getting the oxygen from the atmosphere into your blood. Okay, so there has to be a way of moving the deoxygenated blood into the lungs to pick up the oxygen and then put it back into the heart. Okay, so remember, arteries go away. So we've got an artery here that goes from the blue side of the heart, okay, so the deoxygenated side, because it needs oxygen. Okay, so it's going into the lungs. That then gets oxygenated, and then it arrives in the atria, in the entrance hall. Okay, so it's had deoxygenated blood pumped to the heart, and then oxygenated blood is then received in the heart again, ready to go off around the body. And this circuit here, this is called your pulmonary circuit, because it's the circuit that deals with your lungs. Okay, so remember, arteries always go away. So this artery here is going away from the heart, and that's your pulmonary artery. Okay, and then this one here has to be a vein because it's coming back in, and because it's to do with the lungs, we've got your pulmonary vein. Okay, so arteries away, veins coming back in, and that's your pulmonary circuit. So we've got right ventricle pumping deoxygenated blood back to the lungs via the pulmonary arteries, and then the pulmonary arteries deliver that blood into the lungs. Then you get diffusion take place, and then we've got the pulmonary vein bringing the oxygenated blood back into the left atrium of the heart. Okay, that blood then, freshly oxygenated, is needed by your system, by your body. So that goes to your body wherever it's needed, so muscles, organs, skin, bones, whatever, okay, wherever it's needed. And that is the main artery coming out of your heart, which is called the aorta. Okay, so we've got the left ventricle, the aorta comes out of that, and then it comes into the body, and all of the oxygenated blood is then delivered wherever it needs to go. So obviously once that blood has been used up, we then have deoxygenated blood coming back into the entrance of the heart on the deoxygenated side, which is the right side, and these are your superior and inferior vena cava, or cava, however you want to pronounce it. Okay, and these are big veins. Okay, the superior vein, the superior vena cava, drains blood from your head and your arms, and the inferior vena cava delivers deoxygenated blood from your lower extremity. Okay, so we've got two ways that, or two vessels that are coming back into that right atrium just there. And that circuit coming from the aorta into the body, vena cava back into the right atrium, that is your systemic circulation. So we have pulmonary circuit, which is the bit that deals with the lungs and getting fresh oxygenated blood in, and then your systemic circulation, which is from your body back to the heart, and then it links the two together because it needs to get air, oxygen from the atmosphere, from the lungs into the blood supply, and then from the blood supply pumped around the body. Okay, so that is your systemic and pulmonary circulation.